metaphorical pan has hit the stove. We've preheated that son of a bitch.
And I'm getting burned right now.
Time to throw in some oil, a little garlic, a little aromatics, and get this conversation cooking.
Let's
All
have
right.
it.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm all right. Had a
Same.
very fulfilling day in Millvale as is.
Mm.
Really lucky to have good community.
Yeah. Great neighborhood and a great city. Well, we could tear that apart in different ways, but let's keep it positive, at least for the first 3.5 minutes of this episode.
Cool.
And then we could get into the horrors of the world. Anyways, I'm sitting here today with a couple of fine individuals that play in a musical group by the name of Beach, Boise, Idaho. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Make some noise for the internet.
You're
Digital
welcome.
applause.
You're welcome, Internet.
Well, lovely to have you both here. And I think this will be very helpful for me because I have listened to your music. I actually dug through a good chunk of your Spotify today while I was cleaning, as of one professional does. And you operate in a musical space that I am incredibly detached from. Not in a bad way. It's just people like to say, oh, the music scene is so small. You're operating in a world I know nothing about. So I'm excited to learn more about it and to dig into your creative process and the who, what, when, where, why of what you do.
Cool.
So I'm going to give you the floor.
Cool. I mean, this is happening after 2016. And so we're picking up from the pieces left behind in a world sans Bowie. And that is, always the thing that's driving the creative interface as far as arranging and the representation of a song and how we can dress it up goes and its recorded performance. But outside of that, we're just... What's language like for this podcast? I mean, is there a statute of limitations?
Whatever the fucking shit, piss, ding dong, wiener balls you want it to be.
All right. Yeah. We have a really good crew of fucked up neurodivergent people who believe in very valuable things like community and mutual respect and boundaries that we get to make the craziest stuff with. So we kind of operate that way. Jason, who's not here, is a really good proponent of that kind of stuff. And the way Sam plays drums really puts a good backbeat to it.
And I'm not offended by any of that.
Hell yeah. So the one thing that I find really just fascinating on the surface, digging into your music, is like there's a really cool palette in terms of like you have some songs that are like super minimal and super kind of like intentionally what I imagine to be like intentionally kind of like intimate, like you're right here in my face, I'm watching this thing, it's just like human to human experience. And then there's also some stuff that you do that is very like dense and lush with all of these like crazy extra unexpected layers. It's like I thought I was in a room with one person. Now I'm in a room with 50 or something. Like what the fuck? And it's like really, really cool, really creative. And I really, really like hearing these like, I guess that's what's kind of cool about what bands that decide to maybe say like, fuck the label. And we'll just kind of do whatever we want to do. You kind of, the door's open to do whatever. And there's so many bands like, okay, listen, I've been doing this fucking podcast for a long time. And like a lot of people come on the show and they're all great, all well-intentioned people. And, be like, oh yeah, like we're not really trying to fit into the box. And it's just like, you're a hardcore band. You sound like a fucking hardcore band. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's not too much like creative expression going on here. But I think it's really cool that, what you've been able to stumble on with the music that you're writing and the band that you have is that it seems like it's very like, no, we can be all over the fucking place. And I'm curious about like the origins of that and like what, because eventually like, okay, let me I asked you like 6 fucking questions. Let's bring it down to one.
It's
right?
good. I'm digesting them all too. Yeah.
Bring it back down to one question. What was like the initial starting point of this project? You know, like what type of creative music genre, however you want to put it, like what were you looking to do when this started?
You know, I think any and all is a pretty unacceptable answer. Yeah, it's a little bit more reflective of this goat mindset that a lot of people are intoxicated with right now. And that stuff will kill you if you're always looking for the greatest and the greatest. But, you know, what we can put into our sketchbooks as far as a recorded piece and representative arrangement is kind of the priority of the whole thing. And I think with the minds, there are only 4 of us at the moment, putting this on, the ability to articulate as much as possible over, you know, what's been written in the music, I think ends up being a big priority for everybody. And that's what allows it, no matter the representation of the music we're doing, to be loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, or, you know, to expand on a harmonic spectrum this way or that way. So we're really fortunate to be this kind of 4-piece.
Totally.
Because I think a lot of, it's no criticism, but I think a lot of people, you know, really know in their heart of hearts, as a creative artist, the music that moves them. But with some neurodivergence in the mix, you know, I've never really been able to decide. So we just kind of do it from those terms going forward. And I think when we lay into tracks, as we're learning them for the first time from, you know, me as the songwriter forward, we end up developing a little bit of a groove. And as we reflect on it in the weeks moving forward, as we continue to work on songs, they have several identities, which is really nice. You know, anybody else's input as far as the reflection of a tune and the way it sounds to them goes is a way that we can actually lean into it as it is authentically. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think, you know,
I don't know if that's too much word garbage.
No. I mean,
Makes
listen,
perfect sense.
listen, it's a podcast, so that means it's going to be garbage. So,
wait. There's 3 white guys in a room and there are cameras and cameras and cameras.
Yeah, 3 white guys and 3 cameras. This is like, we're committing a crime right now, pretty much.
For having an opinion.
But back to the art.
Yes.
I think, you know, the thing that is really cool about the songs is that there's such a strong focus on rhythm, chord, and melody from what I'm digesting. Whereas, like, this is stuff that, like, most of this material, you know, even though some of these compositions maybe have extra players, or maybe it's just the 4 of you doing a ton of multi-tracking or a mix.
I love me my auxiliary. Yeah.
You know, these songs could still probably be represented in a very fair way, even stripped down to just 4 people on a stage. You don't need all the extra juice, but it's nice to have.
Yeah,
in a studio sense, right?
If you you know, this comes without any aspect of religious denomination, but if you were to look at the Beatles as a pop song hymnal, and you see all the representation over those tracks, it's really just a job of transposition, like where you're taking all those wonky ideas and you're figuring out how many voices they could go through, and whatever the right voice is the right voice for the recording. And then when it comes down to the live performance, you know, I'm lucky we have 2 guitars. So one guitar can be saxophone, and you know, the other can just be me going by and honking, you know, behind the microphone.
The live performance takes on a totally different role from the recording. It's like, so you're not getting a carbon copy. You're not getting the exact same experience. Every time you're getting something different.
Yep.
You know, so it's a little bit more strict back, and you just kind of get to experience it in a different way.
There are a lot of, you know, I'm the songwriter of the whole thing, and I think there are always musics, as a fan of music, that I'm listening to and trying out. But there are some proponents of that kind of taste that really keep me going, like Randy Newman or Ween, you know, where there might be a style behind the writing, but the exhibition of the arrangement can change over and over and over again. without it being a commercial chameleon. I think that's a really advantageous point of view when scripting the music itself. So
Yeah, I think that
and we're only lucky to have each other,
yeah,
because I know there are a lot of musicians who'd be like, "That is cooked."
yeah. No, I think
It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
I think that it with art and music, I think that I don't know if it's just a side effect of how culture is now, but I feel like there used to be a time when artists would take songs that they had written and they might have 3 or 4, 5, 6 different versions of that song on different records
yeah.
through different years. But that's not something that I feel like modern bands do as much. It feels like everybody's kind of locked into like, oh, we wrote this thing. This is the song. It has to be this way forever. And when we perform it live, it needs to be this representation of the studio version. And I feel like I want the opposite. I understand, like I understand the idea of like, oh, like I went and saw this band live and like, but they don't really sound like the record. And I'm like, that's what excites me.
Yeah.
It's like, why not both?
Yeah, I think, the contingency of failure always being on the brink of what's possible when playing live is something that really strengthens an artist. But the way that things are solicited, especially in genre, I say genres were an inside job. Oh, they're in it with big genre.
Corporate
But
genre.
when you get down to that and you become really finicky about that, I think it's ultimately a distraction from the message you're trying to share, because the message changes song to song, and that's what's reflective of the artist. So we have this extreme duality of like, what kind of artist am I and what kind of person am I, in a lot of writers in 2026, and I really think that that's stupid. I think it's based to contrive stress like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like the forced identity and self-marketing that kind of comes with being a active musician in 2026, with the way that we're supposed to talk about our art online, the way that we're supposed to promote our work online, the way that we need to have accounts online. And like, I understand it, but it sucks. I feel like it takes away from what is most important to me, which is just like writing songs and playing them live.
Yeah.
I don't fucking want to do this whole song and dance, be like I'm just like a jester performing for the king.
Yeah.
And like that's what being
and you're
on
trying
social media feels like.
Yeah,
I
you're trying to keep from getting decapitated.
Yeah.
And so you want to say something that strikes intrigue with the public audience, but at the same time, you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't say that, and you shouldn't self-deprecate. And I really do think that we exist in this band to kind of tear that curtain down. Not the steel curtain. I freaking love the Pittsburgh Steelers, dude. They did so well this past season. But I really think that a lot of that is a contrived nature. And, when you can get reflections of an artist honestly telling you how to educate yourself and, not what to listen to, but to teach your own ear how to listen more emotionally and to be able to take that as a piece of data. If we are in the AI age, I guess I should say it that way, that you can hold on to, and it can motivate you to arrange in a certain way just for one song only. I mean, that's the best you get. The best you get is your own experimentation, and thank God for that. Because if you put yourself in a box... Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
I think it was a Super Bowl ad where they were, Pete Seeger's Little Boxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful tune and a beautiful sentiment about how erudite and ridiculous, just going, well, and I have my own life like this, can be. I mean, that's how I hear the song. But they used it for an ad, which was the antipathy in its depiction of that sentiment the way I hear it. I think if we're to encourage our listeners to do anything as listeners, it's to question that kind of stuff and live authentically.
Yeah. Unapologetically be yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you got to. You're always going to be made fun of. And thanks to the proponent of the internet, there's always a comment section waiting for you. But if you're doing yourself right, you're probably not really going to watch that. And you're going to make the genuine connections that actually matter for the network that you're holding.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the display. It's about the activity that people don't see.
Totally. I think that it's so, I'm a little bit older. I'm about I'm in my 80s. So
good for your 80s.
You are aging like a tortoise.
Thank you.
What's your
You're a
secret?
beautiful man.
My secret's rock and roll, baby.
No drugs or alcohol.
Whenever I started, through my high school and getting into playing bands and stuff like that, this is all pre-social media. So I really have this kind of ingrained world of still remembering what it was like to find a community and network before the internet. And I don't know if I feel like it'd be really hard for me to imagine people that are younger now where it's that's the normal and that's how it's always been, because for me, I feel like the internet and the real world are two separate things.
Yes.
From my personal experience, and this might not be everybody's personal experience, but I can only live the world through my eyes, I suppose, is the people that will interact with me online aren't the people that I ever fucking see at shows.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's the flip. The people that I will see at shows are people that it's I don't even know your name, but I see you all the time. Thanks for coming. It's so weird. It's just, but there's just two different things. I think that the internet and social media can certainly be an accessory. It's a nice thing to have. It's the equivalent of leaving a stack of flyers at the attic for your show.
Yeah.
It's it's there. Great. Maybe somebody will see it. Maybe they won't. But I can't invest everything in it.
I think, with the advent of social media and everything, it's a set of rose-tinted lenses. And I think as a result, the way that we all hang on to this stuff, I just bought records and uploaded a picture onto the internet of the records I bought today.
Hell yeah, dog.
In sync, no strings attached, or strings attached, I forget. I did it for Digital Get Down. That's the track. And Gorilla Toss. But I think a lot of that is a validation factor. That a creative person, an artist, can really confuse for success. Because if you're a good person and you're well supported in your craft, you could be playing shows to nobody, but have thousands of followers online. Maybe they're at a distance, maybe they're not in your town. And so in a step-based way, it does count for something, but I think a lot of people hold on to public opinion as a resource for how they should shape their craft. And I don't think that that's necessary. I think it's a thankless task.
Sure.
Because then you're just attempting to please the genre that you want to be. And I think when we adhere to those standards, there are hardly standards in it. It's always ever changing. And so I think that really damns people into a life of public niceties, but they don't really get to know themselves efficiently.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're now an employee of other people's opinions.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that.
Yeah,
you have to be unrestricted.
When I was younger and when I started doing music, I was doing a lot of stuff in the hip hop community. And I knew a lot of people that were doing a lot of really cool things. And there was always these conversations of people that seemingly knew what they were talking about that would be like, hey, if you did this or that, we might be able to help you with this or that.
Yeah.
And my thing was if I were to ever achieve some sort of success, wearing a mask, not being me, and then needing to keep up that image. It's that's not, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why do I even want to do that? It's I am it's I understand that half the people that I am around don't understand me because I'm a fucking weirdo. But like, this is what I'm only good at being a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm not good at being normal or fitting in.
Yeah,
right. And
yeah.
it's just like, so that's just what I'm going to do.
Well, I mean, that's artistry. I feel like it's the most outstanding factors of your personality that survive every conversation you have. And that's what you offer in terms of intrigue, and that's what keeps a mind open.
And you have to accept the fact that not everyone's going to understand you or like you, and so be it. You know, you just got to still unapologetically be yourself.
And when it comes down to your writing, I mean, you mentioned hip hop, and I think that's a perfectly accessible medium for music and being one's authentic self. And so it's super, I mean, it is being a songwriter. And if you're in charge of your own beats, you know, you'd best hope that somebody like them, no matter whatever they sound like. But if you're to hold back and please other people, you're not really going to be doing anything other than appeasing 3 minutes and 30 seconds at a time. And it's countergrain to the medium.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're an acoustic songwriter or you like to rap or anything like that, the important thing to share is the level of intrigue that you have to give the world. We have, oh, sorry, I'm not trying to.
No. I mean, I feel like it's more important than your level of like your technical abilities, I think, is like your identity.
Art beats chops.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
The world has enough art. The world doesn't need any more songs, really. Like there's plenty enough.
But people get bored really quickly, so a refresh.
I feel like if you're going to be contributing anything more, it should be something that is unique enough to stand on its own ground and not just adding noise to things that already exist.
Yeah. And with how AI is coming into all of this, I sound like an old man now. Old man yells at cloud, huh? Yeah. But with AI coming into this
podcast sponsored by, I don't even know what's
sponsored by Sonos.
Jim Scratchy Show.
with all of that being, a way that somebody can delegate their talent or lack thereof, in my personal opinion, these are really bracketed ways of observing music and pulling from musical influences. But if somebody lacks the tools to be able to bring that to the center of themselves and then deal it forward, I think the technology that's advertised as being accessible is not really going to get somebody there. Like but I hate to sound like a martyr for a lost cause, but it really does take the pain and the growth and the personal aspect of all of it, outside of the series of merit badges that we proudly wear as fans of music before we're songwriters or anything like that. Just speaking against big genre when I say that, but I think a lot of what the internet and technology has to provide is a total validation distraction on the entire thing. And it's really important to have an album to cry with in your own privacy to understand what really moves you.
Yeah, and like it's I just don't understand, like, there's like, when I think about being an artist, musician, song, whatever the fuck, when I think about doing this stuff, like for me, it's all about the process.
Yeah.
The process of working on writing those songs, coming up with an idea, showing it to my bandmates, having other people get excited about it. They throw their things in. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even fucking think of that.
Yeah.
And then you're all cooking together, and then you get to play shows and people see it and like all of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I feel like most musicians that you talk to, most people that want to make music, they're going to be like, yes, like that's what I like, being in the studio or work, that's the stuff that I like. So the idea of like trying to do this AI thing to kind of like skip ahead, it's like, for what?
Well, I mean, it's
just for the, like, to say that I am a musician, to say I'm a songwriter.
Oh, it's totally capitalistic.
But with what?
Yeah.
But what's the end goal here? Really?
Yeah. Well,
to me, it's just like,
there is none.
Is it money? There's easier ways to make money than faking songwriting
just to play it
Yeah.
safe.
because even
And we have a whole industry about faking songwriting.
even the best songwriters in the world that do it without AI are struggling
Well, yeah, it used
to
to be
make money.
They don't look for inspiration. They just write.
It's weird to say, but and again, I sound like an old man, but it used to be a team of 14 writers who wrote for somebody else who was charting, and now it's AI because it can lump sum all the data and then put it out in a certain way, but
And it saves money and avoids paying royalties.
it does, yeah. I think the best proponent, though, of being an artist is understanding. I think a lot of people are very intelligible about this, to be honest. I think the AI stuff is just a grift. And it's a quick thing that you can do to get the job done, but you don't really learn anything from it. And so I think more intelligent artists than some of the representation we see from the advancement of AI technology are the ones who are really pushing what matters. And I think that to measure those artists through their successes matters a lot more. It's really difficult to tell when listening to somebody's mix where something was automated for them or not. But I think taste to taste between listeners, the truth is going to be revealed because there's always going to be a hot seat awaiting somebody for the opportunity their work gets them. But if they sit in that hot seat and they don't know what they're doing, I think it's going to be very obvious. And I think it makes it very difficult for the industry to mask that.
Sure.
Like Ashley Simpson on SNL. Like there are just some things that are so transparent that they are career ending. And I think with the advent of AI and all of that there is going to be a personal renaissance for artists in a collective mindset, but also each individually, as if it's not happening right now. That really makes bunko stuff and just quick grabs versus the integrity of an artist that you can follow for their whole career. I think about peers of mine who, just as I am, are struggling with whatever mindset we adapt or put together, given all of this. But I think that our struggles are worth it in the end. Because the capitalistic mindset of AI pushing something quickly is only going to be for commercial value. And I think a lot of people as independent patrons of local businesses and the way that they actually care about their local economy are going to push through before that because we're going to see where what used to be a Walmart, ends up being just another corporate business, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I know I'm speaking in so many levels, I'm speaking as a consumer myself, but I really do hope that there's a renaissance on the other side of that because the rest of it just feels very opportunistic.
And that could happen once water bottles are like $20,
Oh, we're going to get there.
Yeah, once we have a short supply of water, it's like, well, now we need it for our basic way of life and to live. So it's like, okay, no, we should get rid of all this AI at this point.
Yeah. And even thinking about a bottle of water costing $20, I think a lot of people have that look ahead and are starting to structure themselves in a way that depends more on their immediate community and sense of surrounding before it entertains something that's cheap. What I notice in listeners is younger people fall for this kind of stuff. And I did too when I was younger. But I'm older and more learned now. And, when I was in my undergraduate degree program, I dreamed of technology. Like I wished so hard for technology that could put it together for me. Just extract it from my mind and make it data. And what I've learned over time is with this technology coming to surface, that I'm actually horrified because I just find it unagreeable. I mean, even in the early stages of DALL-E, DALL-E was one of the first image-based AI systems.
Oh, yeah.
You could give it a prompt and it would it was like Google Deep Dream,
Okay, I'm very removed from so much of this stuff.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm getting nostalgic saying it.
Yeah.
It's like not like I partake or, mess with any of those algorithms now. Like it's ridiculous. I put -AI in any Google search, and I should be using Ecosia. I should not be using Google Chrome anymore. But I dreamed of technology being able to extract it from my head and put it down in data. And what I'm realizing is that the pain and the hardship of falling on your face and learning it in face value time after time after time actually creates a stronger, more well-assured artist. And what that means, I mean, if any opportunity comes from Beach, Boise, Idaho, it would be hilarious before anything to me. But, we get to see this in a very local way. So I always think that it's possible. But if that opportunity ever comes knocking, if this becomes something bigger, I know that I have those moments of failure and hardship to thank for being more well aware, given the projection of my own career. And I think that that's something that every artist really deserves. And this technologically based shortcut is just stupid and in the way. I mean, it's like a bad luck Brian meme when you're having a bad day. And we all looked at that and observed it for a whole 5 minutes, and we didn't feel any better on the other side.
Nope.
And so I'm really hoping that this comes to pass as that, and we can actually use this technology, though it consumes water very harmfully, to be in our hospitals and in the postal service before it's just showcased as entertainment.
Yeah.
We need to learn to find that fine line between the entertainment part and how it can actually be beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come so quickly that we weren't prepared for it. I mean, AI has been around a long time, but it's just come so fast in the last few years. It's just like, what do we do with all this? And then we're arguing over what's real and not. And that's where it gets really bad and dangerous.
Yeah, and it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, just a few words short we are of being able to talk about politics. So, but yeah, it's touching everything in a way that doesn't really make sense to a creative person or the way I believe, Yeah.
Yeah, no. I it's just the there's a lot of things about it that bother me. But I think in terms of the artistic side of things, it's really just the ego of it all that bothers me.
I did this.
Yeah. And it's
you didn't.
It's like, yeah, it really just rubs me the wrong way. I think, and I don't know, maybe that's just like me feeling like I'm on some type of high horse because legitimately I'm 40 years old and I have been, making music. I started making beats when I was 13. So I've been making music for over half of my life.
Yeah.
I have been playing shows since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And this is my fucking life.
Yep.
And I am only getting to a point now where I feel like I'm kind of okay at it.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much and so much experience.
And that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's instead of me typing prompts into a thing and getting results, it's my prompts have been playing fucking shows and getting a response from human beings.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to make this better?
Where the edgelord dies for creating your own content, a beautiful phoenix is born.
Yeah.
And just being better learned. Each next step is the key.
Getting better at performing live, not having stage fright, not worrying too much about what everyone thinks of you,
See the man with the stage fright. Just getting up there to give it all his might.
Yeah.
He got caught in the spotlight.
Yep.
But when he gets to the end, he wants to do it all over again.
It's like, oh, where's the reset button?
It's Sunday. Preaching my danko.
Yeah.
To end the week.
So, let's sidestep away from the AI.
Yes,
but
thank
let's
you.
talk
Please.
more about, I guess, just about identity as an artist, and branding as an artist. So we're not too sidesteppy here. A question that I'm curious about is, when I'm listening to a lot of your music, I am getting, this is very well intentioned art. These are songs that are made with craft, made with purpose, and made for, people to digest in a serious fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe some elements of whimsy here and there, but not too much, right?
Yeah, we all need a little pavement.
It's just there's a little something. So my question is, why the name Beach Boise, Idaho. And where is there like a level of irony in this that I am missing? Where did the name
Where's
come
the
from?
beach?
The careerist mindset with that name is the irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is kind of like a punk rock sort of like fuck it aesthetic to that name.
Yeah.
And if that's what it is, then that's it.
But I mean, that's the essence of punk, and there's punk in everything. It's like saying this rocks, and you're watching a movie, and you're like, oh, what makes a movie
do what
rock?
feels right.
The origin is just, we used to take field days in undergrad, and we had this band called Billy Baldwin, in all caps, every time. And we would tour. We would go from Boston, down to like Jacksonville, Florida, and back over the course of 3 weeks. We had a lot of activity. The weird thing is, like, we didn't pay attention to any of the data. Like, we were just throwing. But we would take these field days, and on one of these field days, a personal moment happened for me on the inside of my head only, and I shut up for a whole 20 minutes, which is a miracle to any of my peers. And the first thing I said to erupt from my own silence was, Beach, Boise, Idaho. And everyone chortled and said, hold on to that. So that's the origin of that. And I think all of what I do creatively and how it transposes to everyone else in the band is the true test of faith in the name. But I think the work stands for itself. And, over the years, I've thought about it in certain ways. Beach Boise, Beach Boys-esque, Beach Boys-like, Beach Boys-like. Sorry, I'm speaking under my breath. I'm trying to sell this like it's drugs. I think it's just something that we hold on to like that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, sometimes like you, as an outsider, this is also a very kind of like capitalist sort of viewpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like when you're, hey, I have a band, and I'm like, okay, what is the name of your band? And someone's like, the name of my band is Hammer Death.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I think I might know what Hammer Death sounds like. But then, like someone's like, hey, check out my band, Beach Boise, Idaho. I'm like, I don't know what that's gonna be.
Well, it's a mindset. It's a frame of thinking, and people advertise cults like that, right? It's a way of thinking. It's a way of life. Come down to this 12-acre plot that we have just outside Brazil for a weekend, and we'll serve Kool-Aid. I understand how it sounds, but it is a frame of thinking, and it's kind of a freeness to say, like, hey, I went to Beach Boise, Idaho for 45 minutes, alongside somebody else's 45 minutes, and I had a good time. I was entertained, and that's what we get to grasp.
I'd say anytime I explain the band, I do my best to explain. They come see it, or we've been on other appearances. They're like, I did not expect that. And they're like, oh, this was amazing,
I mean, it's
not to toot our own horn.
No, but it's all about human identity, and that's the best we get. The best we get is a moment that we can hold on to later, because God knows what I'd be without you, Brian. God knows. Well, I shouldn't just keep saying God.
What is your point here?
We don't know when we're going to hold on to that moment later and when it really matters. And I think given the continuity of community and the open invitation to be an avid listener is the thing that binds all of us as fans of music.
Yeah.
And we're that before we're writers. And we all have a moment when we were 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, where it impacted us in a way that we knew we wanted to be around it.
Totally.
And that's an open invitation to your endorsement. And it's really cool that we have culture that we, in our generations, respectively, have been able to study for years and years and years to give us an indication that, like, no, I'm not going to back down on this, and my whole family has outcast me, or whatever somebody's situation is. But that's what Beach Boise, Idaho is. It's the freaks and geeks.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I find that it's not a controversial take to be like, I think a lot of artists tend to be introverted types.
Yeah.
And
lack of eye contact types.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we
Train types, if you will. I'm sorry.
we reach a point where we know we want to be a part of something larger than ourselves. But it's like, how do you find that community? And it's like, well, my story is like, if I start making music, maybe I could find other people that like music.
Yeah.
That make music. And it was almost like me like creating things was always just kind of like a vessel or like some sort of like admission fee for me to get into the community I wanted to be a part of. It's like, I don't even care as much about the fact that I'm creating something. It's like, I just want to be a part of a thing where people are creating stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is my little thing, but I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even give a fuck if I'm fucking playing the show or not. I just want to be a part of the thing.
That's the groove,
You know?
though. Yeah. I feel that with our local music festivals, I mean, they're really plentiful in a city like Pittsburgh. You feel like that. You go, you do your stint, and then you're up there and everybody else is stank for the rest of the day. It's a beautiful thing.
Totally.
But what it takes to get there, I think are really challenging moments that we kind of take for granted as we're able to go through the steps very accessibly.
Sure.
Thanks to community.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like anything involving our interactions with other human beings, there are various levels of complications.
Oh,
You
we
know,
are
it is
social creatures, though.
It is a 7-layer bean dip of fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mystery.
But you know, I think that, you know, leaning on the positive, it can be a really, really great thing. And I don't know. I guess it's why I do this podcast. I guess I don't know. I like talking to people and meeting people in the neighborhood, especially when I get to connect with people that operate outside of my typical wheelhouse, because it's really easy to get stuck in a bubble. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be hard for me to just hang out with a bunch of just greasy headbangers forever, you know, and love them to death. But it's nice to, but it's great to be able to expand beyond that, because like for me, there is no label on what type of creative environment I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like, I don't care what the fuck you're making, as long as it's, you know, not weirdo, hateful, bizarro shit that we don't got to talk about. But, you know.
Oh, we all have artistic pictures.
As a drummer, I find myself having to figure out what do I want to be involved with, you know?
Yeah.
When people hit you up and are just like, you know, they want to start some project, you know, they don't know what they're doing. It's like, I can't really help you there, you know? It's like, I got to invest my time wisely.
To the tune of what you were saying earlier, I think the idea of like a palette is something that escapes a lot of people when they're stuck in the mindset of trying to achieve something for validation. Now, we all, like I said, we're social creatures. You know, we all need that feedback. But being an arsenal of your own taste, no matter what your representation is. You know, for instance, I'm a visual artist as well as I am a musician, and I am not only a songwriter, but I think of myself as a poet. And like that kind of synesthetic appreciation for any artistic representation, I think is a really important thing for anyone to adapt as an artist themselves. Not adapt, sorry, adopt. But I think that's something, when we get to know people really well, it's the coolest part of having a homie. But I think it's something in social scenes, like music scenes, that we don't really get, because a lot of things are presentations and very performative at that. And so a lot of the kindness that you feel you receive might not be as authentic as it would need to be to keep you afloat forever. And so like an appreciation for other mediums and letting that in, I think, is something that really determines the gumption of an artist.
Wow.
I mean,
Wise words.
My wife and I are tearing apart the Twilight films on weeknights. And, you know, we're on to Harry Potter now. And when we can put Mystery Science Theater 3000 in our own living room and
Yeah, sure.
still appreciate it as a medium, but have commentary about it. I think it's something that really motivates me as a creative artist to, parody this or that or treat it so loosely that my songs can even be commentary just as I tear apart films.
Yeah.
In the comfort of my own living room.
Yeah, I feel like that it's really important to engage with the world in any way you can through a creative lens if you are a creative person. I think there's so much to learn from so many different aspects of things that really can benefit you as a creative person. Like, there's no reason why every inspiration that you have as a musician has to come from a musical source. It probably shouldn't.
It's incestuous. I mean, it's unrelenting if you do it that way.
Yeah, I think that there are no real rules to doing any of this, right?
No,
and I think that just like go into the world with reckless curiosity, and just take it all in,
Right.
You probably grew up as a latchkey, right?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I always think of that same nerve, to purposely wreck my bicycle, when I was 10 or something like that. That's what you need as an artist. So you can go to Phipps Conservatory, take in your view, and process it as something motivating on the other side for you creatively. I think when people are too involved in their own industry, we've all met the jaded sound person, and we love them. They do a great job. But you can see how the regurgitation of just like that mundanity night after night after night after night can break somebody down into somebody who might not be any more cynical than we find ourselves, but less willing to go out there and create something.
Well, that's the downside of every ornery sound person I've ever encountered is really good at their job, but they don't love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they used to love it and fell out of love with it, or they're just in that sort of situation where it's like, ugh,
and
like what else am I gonna do?
Yeah,
I guess I'm here.
And
And like I have empathy for that.
Right.
I understand that. And I also understand too that a lot of the time, I would say a fair chunk of what they're doing is always probably operating with younger bands. Not necessarily young in terms of age, but
inexperienced,
right?
Yeah.
And that can be a little bit, I imagine frustrating because they don't have the knowledge or the experience that you do and what might be common sense to you.
And every one of those bands goes, "It's me."
Right.
And you're like, stop.
And they act like they know what they're doing. And then obviously you gotta listen to the sound person.
And we all want identity in what we do.
But if they got no experience and is they're telling sound person saying you gotta do this or you gotta turn down and they're just like having an attitude about it, it's like, well, then it's so frustrating for their job.
Well, it stops being collaborative at that point.
And if it happens enough, and it's like, then you become miserable with the job you do, and you just want to be pessimistic with every band that comes through every show.
It's like, something that I've learned over the years is like, if you're playing a room you've never been in before, and the person that's working there looks like they have a bad attitude on their shoulder, but they're, older than time itself, they probably know the room better than you do. Yep. So if they're telling me to fucking turn down or do whatever, I will at least humor it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, too, it's the thing is like, especially if you're not opening the fucking show, like you're the third band that's played. It sounded fine all night.
Yeah.
And now you're going to think you're the one that's going to make the room sound better by not listening. This guy's been working all night.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. Just listen to him.
Yeah, this is one night of business. This is just one night of business.
Just fucking listen to him.
There's no such thing as a talent scout anymore.
No.
I promise. Just work together. Just work together. It'll be fun.
We're playing plenty of out-of-town shows where like, it's some much older guy doing sound and he's running the bar. And it's like, and they're barely interacting. They're taking forever to set everything up. It's like, should we trust this guy? And everyone's like, nah, he's solid, And it ends up being a good night. I'm like, you know what? This guy was pretty good,
Well, it's your job as the stranger to find a way to love that guy immediately.
Yeah, so they want you back.
Because that's his night every night.
And also, too, controversial take.
Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. No, I'm sorry. They have Pepsi.
Oh God, yeah.
I will say this. If your band needs a good sound tech to sound good, that's your problem.
Yes.
As a band.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
A good band could still play a good show if it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, that's kind of like the litmus for what makes a good song, you know? And I find myself fortunate to be a John Prine fan. So the recipe is always right there in your face. You know, I'm a guitar player. I believe if I lose touch with the fact that my instrument is made of wood, I'm failing myself as a guitar player and a guitar playing musician. So yeah, when things get too complicated to really just do as a group of 4 people, there's something to be said about that. And
Yeah.
I as much as I love Wayne Coyne, I can only imagine and build myself up to do anything close to what that would be. I mean, that comes with certain successes that we don't have yet. But I think that when a band comes with their own sound person and there's a lot of legitimacy without monetary representation going into it, that being like a label or something like that, it does look a little audacious when you see that whole crew show up with their in-ears and they're playing a dive bar or something like that. But maybe the cut of my jib is just a little bit more working class. I don't know.
And hopefully they don't have their own door person as well.
There are so many bands.
Paranoid about money being stolen or something like that.
There are a lot of bands in the world, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to, I think that like if you're going to humor the aspect of like, hey, you know, we're a band, we're independent, we're DIY, we're local, whatever label you want to put on it. But we want to perform using some modern conveniences, right? Like whether it be amp modeling guitars or in-ear monitoring and things like that.
Wonderful technology too.
They're not complicated things.
No, and I would kill to have it. Well,
do not show up to the fucking venue unless you actually know how the stuff works.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, that's the thing. Is this like it's like multiple times I've played shows with bands where it's like the whole fucking schedule gets off because these fucking ding dongs don't know how to fucking wire their goddamn in-ear monitors or fucking route the fucking stuff from their computer. And it's like, you've had all day before you got here to test this. You've had all week. Yeah. How long did you just fucking stop at Guitar Center on the way here? Did your Sweetwater order show up today? What the fuck are we doing?
It's a crazy thing about musical representation too, because like, you know, there are a lot of bands that are really good at making records, but they might not play live as proficiently, and their only goal is to transpose what was recorded to a live setting. And there are other bands that are just the opposite. You know, they play wonderfully live and they have a lot of charisma. We might be one of those bands, but we're like terrible in the studio or something like that. Those bands are terrible in the studio. But when it comes down to like a local gig, a no stakes kind of gig, that is a collaborative experience from a community or maybe a couple communities coming together, those tools of accessibility can prove a really big handicap. And again, just depending on the venue, sometimes it looks like a carnival and it can be really entertaining. And, you know, everyone takes it back to their own rehearsal room sometime later.
It's funny. Like I've had this conversation with people before about like, okay, so like there's different intentions for different types of bands, right? There's everybody that is making art, regardless of what I feel about whatever they're trying to do, it's valid for them, right? It's their creative passion. So for a band like mine or a band like yours, it makes sense for us to get our start playing in bars, smaller spaces.
I love bars.
You know, we are low key bands, and like we're not really making we're making music that obviously if it's on a big stage and big speakers, big lights, great. Like it's gonna sound cool, but we could also play a small club and the message gets across.
Yeah.
What does the band that like genuinely from their heart, they're like, we want to be like Nickelback. We want to be like a stadium rock band. Like that is never going to cut across properly like poetry, right?
Yeah.
Like so like, how do you even start if your goal is we want to be this bigger than life thing? Where's your launching pad?
Yeah.
How do you it's just because like there's no way for it to even like be represented properly in a space without all the fucking frills.
Given like a previous subject to conversation, mediums transpose. And this is why I love watching comedy. It's why I love watching comedians. It's why I love watching movies, whatever. But you remember when Dane Cook was doing arenas?
Yes.
I mean, I know it's comedy, but what a laughable portrayal of the way it is. Like music works very similarly to comedy. It's an active conversation. It's an inviting conversation, and it works in real-time correspondent of those watching. That is the best it gets. And so when artists go in with this mindset that we're going to do arenas, music was never supposed to be in an arena. A symphony, you look at the representation there, you have 40 people on stage, and only then can it really fill a room that size. So the mindset that we are going to be Nickelback, we are going to be Foo Fighters, we're going to be this, it means a lot in the moments of inspiration, but how it transposes to the reality of how you put it on, I think is the most important step of the whole thing. And a lot of that just comes down to your playability.
There's too many acts that tour arenas that should not play arenas. Because I do stagehand work, like gig work, and I've watched so many, and I'm like, it made me hate arena concerts. Because like some are really good at it.
Arena music, bore of monsters and men, and I'll leave it
Of
there.
monsters and men. But yeah, but like there's so many, especially rock bands, full bands that like should not be playing. I've been super disappointed seeing and wonder why later on they can't sell them out.
Yeah.
Like they should be playing smaller venues. Because it just doesn't work. They don't have the energy for it.
Well, those images of success, I think, are the things that really bear results where it's like, well, we need to be writing songs this way. You know, we've all survived Mumford & Sons and in the era of 2010's indie.
Stomp
Guy
rock.
singer, girl singer, trumpet, chorus, hey. Guy singer, girl singer, trumpet, chorus, hey. Bridge, trumpet, chorus, hey. You know, and like, it's a lot.
The stomp
It's a
rock.
lot. It's weird. It just feels contrived. White people culture is really entertaining at times when you want to be a critic.
It's like tinned fish core.
It is. Yeah. And it's like, well, like, we don't.
Something very uncomfortably New England about all of it.
Yeah. And I lived in New England for 6 years. Yeah. But like what it does is it really waters down the consumer. Because like the consumer, there's this Liam Gallagher quote, you know, and I think he's right. The consumer doesn't know what they want.
No.
And so that is just open season for artistry, you know, for trying things and being inventive and being creative. And so when you break these things down because their representation is in front of a crowd of 40,000 people every time, and you say that that's the determined standard for music, it's really destructive to music, you know? There should not be a determined standard for music. I mean, thank God for jazz in these genres that are all about the language of articulation and improvisation, because without those moments of happy accidents, we wouldn't really have any new invention. So the trumpet chorus hey stuff just like absolutely drives me insane. Same thing with posts on TikTok, Instagram, whatever the social media medium is, where it's like, do you like Weezer and Blink-182? Well, then you'll love us. And it's like, really, that just says, did you grow up in a suburb? You know, that reminisces about the 90s. And I just don't believe in any of that.
In your 20s, you will join a Weezer cover band, and you don't know it yet.
It took peeing twice for me to become outwardly critical of everything. Thank
You
you
just
for
had to
having
let it
us.
all out. Let it all out, you know?
But like those things are audacious. I mean, that's just it's a body image disorder in real time. You know, it creates an unrealistic standard
Yeah.
that is not going to stand the test of time itself.
When I see stuff like that, especially if it's just somebody that I don't know, just like if I just getting served something that some idiot is paying money to show up on my algorithm, I just pass by it. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
to me.
and it always feels like a desperate grab.
Well, it is
Yeah.
very desperate. It's pathetic.
Hey, guess which one of us is the drummer? Could you tell? Like, screw that.
Yeah, it's I feel I have a lot of very I wouldn't say a lot. I have some very talented friends that are very
You can say a lot. Come on.
Well, I
Take
have
your
a lot-
friends.
Be honest.
I have a lot of talented friends, but some of them are very invested in their social media
Yeah.
presentation.
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
and the thing that bothers me is that they're putting so much energy into marketing this sort of exaggerated performative version of themselves for the internet. And, it's like at the end of the day, I guess if their end goal is to be a social media influencer, cool. But if they're trying to get people to listen to their music, I feel like they're doing themselves a huge disservice because they're not even promoting their music.
Mhm.
They're promoting this character with the music as a side thing. And to me, it's just like, it bums me out.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's
It's
a very fine line between that persona and a public masturbator, to be honest, in my mind. Like,
Yeah, it's just, it's
Jerking
not
it
my,
off for likes.
it's really not my, anybody can do whatever the fuck they want to do with their art. It's their story to tell.
but you're
But as the recipient,
You're
of the
entitled
art,
to hate it.
yeah, your person has some intrinsic quality that not even you can quite put a finger on.
Yeah,
And your art should probably be the same. Yeah.
and you get a lot of this like the introductory posts, right? Consistently. What I mean by that is like, oh, I'm Brian, I'm an independent artist and I do this and that.
Always hated that.
And
Yeah.
they're always posting stuff like that. And for me, it's like, I know, Brian. I know. I've been following you forever.
Yeah.
Like, we know. Like,
Hey.
it's like there's like this consistent, like, always just trying to get new people to build up numbers versus actually like creating stuff for the people that like your art.
Yeah, science needs lab work. You know, like we need the behind the curtain. We need to be the wizard,
and
you
it's
know?
just like again, for me, it always ends up just being this conversation of like, what's the end goal?
Yeah.
Is there an end goal? Like, are you
Everybody will like me.
like
If I do it this way,
like, are you even
I want everyone to like me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just
It's all about me.
It's just like too gross. It's so-
contrived.
Yeah, it's I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's cringy.
It's like being dosed at a Halloween party. Like you're going to sift through conversation in front of your face without even interacting with it. The
Yeah.
same way that your thumb scrolls, and you're going to go "Bleh," at this and that, and beneath somebody's costume, that you can't really trust what you see.
I mean, like, in
Not that ever happened to me or anything like that.
I try to, keep a healthy dose of my perceptions of the world in check.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, if I have some people that I know that are in their 40s that are still trying to be Blink-182, that's a lot better than having, my high school friends that are, supporting ICE.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay, I will
You
take
bet-
the Blink-182 cosplay.
Yeah, you better
over
start
the-
unfriending them.
But, it's like the world, there's so much more complicated
Mhm.
things going on rather than like, like the artistic integrity.
Yeah, and who would I be in
but
my
who-
ego? Yeah.
That's like, let's fucking calm down. But also, it's like,
yeah.
it just bums me out when I see it coming from people that I genuinely feel have something really positive to give the world of art.
Well,
And they're so caught up in just trying to escape themselves.
Mm.
yeah, it almost feels like every time you see that kind of content, somebody is, holding two things at once. And there's the integrity of what they do and doing it quietly and keeping developing it. And then there's the cash grab of like, hey, do you like Weezer and Blink-182? And it's like, oh, come on. Like, we all like Weezer and Blink-182. Like, just stop.
But what if I
I
don't?
guarantee you your music is not as good as either of them.
Yeah, just say less. Do more, say less. Do more, say less. And the more you do without explanation, the easier it is to just go like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to keep doing it. I sampled my dog's bark and put it in the beginning of a song on our record. And I'm not saying this is a landmark achievement by any means. But man, when I had to show it to my peers who are playing on the same song, I went, yeah, I don't know. And they were like, no, keep it. I'm like, oh my God, like now it's art, and that's all it is. It's the best we get. Yeah, there was something else I was going to say, but if it's leaving my mind, that's probably best. I know what it was. All right, it is not just a phase, Mom. I totally understand that. But to me, it's Emo Phillips. You know Emo Phillips?
No.
It's the comedian of the 90s. And he has a strange way of talking like this.
Okay.
So when he delivers his punchline, it can be the most cryptic thing you ever heard.
Yeah.
And you've just been along for the ride. And then when you realize the upset juxtaposed his tone, you go, oh man, that's pretty fucked up. Which is great. Emo Phillips is awesome. But to anyone for, the music not having been just a phase, I totally understand and respect that. Because as adults, we are in a state of arrested development for the rest of our sentence here on Earth. Whatever happens to us, afterward, whatever. But I just want to say that I do respect everybody's appreciation for a genre-based medium. And if anything, I'm envious as to how comfortable anyone feels listening to it and getting together.
Yeah. I think that, it's really complicated the longer I continue to do anything creatively based. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I ask myself every week, why am I still doing this podcast?
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell
Why
you.
the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, I know why. But, like,
Because you're in, baby.
but you got to do the work. And
You're
that's the
too
thing.
far
is,
in.
sometimes the work sucks. There's sacrifice that comes with all of this.
And there's
You know
a
what I mean?
level of skepticism that comes with the more work you apply because, we can, just like that sound guy, like we can go, man, I go through this on the regular. How can these people be upbeat? What is their system? Do they do it as intensely as I do it? And things like that. Yeah. Oh, a lot of those seem to be third eye issues though,
It's just like,
Need a monocle up there.
but it's, you keep doing it. It's like, I am doing everything that I'm doing because I love doing it.
Right.
I've gotten myself into a lot of social trouble, financial trouble.
Oh,
I
financial.
have fucked
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
Yes.
for this.
I
1000%. Like, I
made the mistake of saying I love it.
am fucking cooked,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, this is just what I have.
Well, the perspective it gives you as you
Yeah.
go along, though, like do you have moments of thankfulness?
Oh, for sure.
Just being like, oh, this was so streamlined. Yeah.
I think
I'm
at the
sorry,
end.
Sam.
Oh no, you're fine. I think at the end of the day, like on my end, it's like if I thought I have that dread. It's just like, what am I doing? Or am I wasting my life? But at the end of the day, it's like I also remind myself if I wasn't doing any of this, I would be unhappy. I would be miserable. I can reflect on the last 10 years and just be like, you know what? There have been a lot of fun moments. There's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
But we just keep at it, because that's what matters.
And I'm naive and distractible enough that when my next paycheck comes through, I go, oh, yeah, everything's fine. So you might as well keep it going.
Yeah. It's just, and I think too, like at the end of the day, we are in this bubble of being around other musicians and creatives and art freaks and, devious weirdo fucks, right? And we love it.
Yeah.
But we're all trying to climb this same mountain. So
Yes.
sometimes it feels normal to be climbing this mountain. And it's like the struggle feels normal. And sometimes you see other people that are a little bit higher than you and you're like, fuck.
Mhm.
But being on the mountain at all is so weird.
I
Like,
know.
Most
Yeah.
people in the world don't even want to look at this fucking mountain.
I know, yeah.
They don't even like,
That is
fuck.
ass crack mountain.
Like, fuck that, But we're here and we're climbing together. And I
Yeah.
think that it's, important to, I mean, trust me, I am not one to silently or sometimes not so silently judge and mock and critique things, but I also think it's really important to have mutual respect for everybody that is also on this mountain with us.
Yeah. My perception of that,
For the most part.
any of the judgment.
There's some ill-intended things, for sure. For sure.
Some things are from the heart.
But I would say maybe even those people that are climbing with ill intentions are maybe on a different mountain. Maybe it's not the same mountain.
Yeah, I think of it as, and I got lyrics about Marxism and a lot of what I think is my introspection. I'll leave it for an audience to determine what I think, I guess. But when I see people being on the same mountain, so to say, and they're a lot more cutthroat, sometimes I think a lot of that is just a more capitalistic quality, where the way that they evaluate their performance is based on a different set of standards than what I have for myself. It doesn't mean that they're any higher. It doesn't mean that they're any lower. But it's just a different set of standards. And my thing is, if I can be a clown for you, you can be a clown with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the more clowns, geeks, freaks, counterculture, whatever, that we have behind something, the more identity there is behind what goes on. So the moments of relation are what really matters, enemy or friend.
Sorry. No, do not apologize to me. The whole I don't know if you're aware of this, but the whole point of this is for you two to talk.
Right. I want to give Sam
You do not need to apologize for talking.
It's like we got stuff to say. Yeah, we got a lot to say through this and our lyrics as well, and just through the music.
Yeah, we all spend a lot of time trying to articulate it in a way that not only we find entertaining enough to do again and again and again, but in a way that would transpose to what we all picture as a common audience. And that picture is different to every artist. And I think that's the importance of the integrity of standing behind what you say. Though bombastic or hyperbolic at times, I think our lyrics really do serve some of my sentiments well. And I mean, the coolest part of being a songwriter is when you have a band, because you bring it to the band and the band affirms it. And then you go, top of the world, boys, or top of the world, all ya, regardless of your identity,
Top of the morning, do ya?
Yeah. I think that's the thirst that we all have and the propensity we have as social people to say like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, even if it is a mountain, even if I never see the top of it, at least I died climbing. Some people do Everest. This is just art.
Well,
this is fine.
I think the tricky thing is that I'd wager that most of us that are on this mountain didn't realize we were climbing a mountain until we were
down.
on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, no turning back now.
Yep. That's really what it is. When I think about my tenure as a musician, which is nuts. Yeah. Like, it's nuts to say. George Harrison was right. In his 50s, he was like, I still feel like I'm 17. And you're like, yeah, I get it. Like, I totally get it. But yeah, it's never until you look down that you're like, I can't do anything else at this point.
Yeah, there's no turning back.
But it's not about it's not like that is what accounts for the insistence of moving forward with it. It's the moments of, being recluse and reflection of that help you walk out with something stronger, that help you decide like, okay, well, mistakes have been made, but it's only going to be my face, my voice, my instrument, whatever the representation is in the recorded music or the live music. And I think that's like a really, really important part is the idea of failure, the looking down. Because you have to. If you want to have a 360 angle on how you're doing, you have to be able to look back, look down, and perceive those failures as somehow a positive step in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And if it gives you boundaries, it's like a bad relationship. Like you get out of the worst relationship you were ever in and you go, now I know what my standard is.
Yeah.
And that's, artistry works the same way.
Uh-huh. Hell yeah. Well,
Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, by the way, they do serve Pepsi. I found that out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a long story.
It's all along. Well, not really.
Yeah.
I went there to go support another local band, and their bar room and their showroom are two separate rooms, and they're divided by a threshold and a literal physical door. And so in the bar room, I went out and I ordered a gin and tonic. And when asked what kind of gin I want, I started from what I would assume is well. So I said, do you have Beefeater? Bartender goes, never heard of it. I'm like, okay, well, you have Bombay? Huh? Never heard of it. You have Tanqueray? Huh? You have Hendrix? I never heard of it. And at that point, I was like, okay, clearly I'm out of line. And so I just had to throw the weirdest wrench into the conversation. And I went, you have Pepsi? And she goes, I've never heard of that one. And I said, Pepsi, like the soft drink? Very charismatically, the way I remember it. She goes, oh, Pepsi. Yeah, we have that. So we made a sticker. And it's the Squirrel Hill Sports Bar logo. And their motto is, Pepsi? Oh, yeah. We have.
We all drank cans of Pepsi on stage.
Yeah, anytime we play there, we only drink Pepsi.
John Taffer would have been so pissed if the bartender didn't know all the vodka or alcohol or anything.
John Taffer walks like a skin suit filled with worms. I care less what he thinks than I do my worst enemy.
Like,
I don't think I really have enemies.
Walk slowly. Walk slowly into the bar. It's like, aren't they going to get sick? You know?
Yeah, the mobility assistance technology in that show is outstanding to get him to walk into the bar.
I still find it entertaining no matter what. You know?
Anyway, that's Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. And, it's a good venue. If you like emo night karaoke, they got everything for you. If you like watching the sports game and having a good drink, they got everything for you. Good crowd.
It's free advertising now.
Hell yeah. Well, before the train comes around the station here and we wrap up our discussion today, is there anything that we did not touch on? Any shows or things that you might want to promote, let the good people of the internet know about?
Yeah.
Do you want to let people know what if you sound like Weezer or Blink-182? Let them know.
I don't think we sound like Blink-182. I mean, we got banter, but their banter is very juvenile. I know because I just saw them a few months ago, and I can attest.
Yeah.
We eat, sleep, and breathe by the echelon of Eidolon, and that's what we are as artists. No, I'm getting married in a month, and I'm really excited for that. So we're not gigging as much this spring. We'll be at the Millvale Music Festival, which is cool. But before then, we have 3 tunes that are coming out. 2 are representative of our album, which is called Leave a Light On for Theo. Theo is my dog, and he, for 10 years and hopefully many more, has been the best boy in my life. So we do the music for a dog, hoping he's thankful.
And now he has a beer named after him.
Yeah. We collaborated with Fermata Brewing in Ambridge to help out Animal Friends, which is a nonprofit, like a humane society nonprofit that helps dogs, cats, and rabbits get rehomed to hopefully their forever home, and hopefully they're in good care. So we did Beach Boise, Idaho's Best Boy Brew, and we had Theo on the can. And more recently than that, in January, we did a show in collaboration with the Hi, How Are You Project for Daniel Johnston to recognize symptoms of mental atrophy and the importance of community and friendship in helping keep somebody build up. And so we covered Hi, How Are You, start to finish, with our own arrangements of all those tunes. And it was a wonderful thing. Buddy Whammo joined us and did a tune. We had auxiliary representation. So we're hoping to release that here in the near future. All my filmography crew has been very, very dedicated to the task of editing this whole show and putting it together. So we have things that are on the horizon. We're just all extremely tired right now as we continue to work.
Yeah, heard that.
Right.
Definitely.
That's a way of life.
Well, with all of that being said, that is all, folks. One more time. Beach Boise, Idaho. Make some fucking noise.
Hey, thank you.
I'll be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Brian Sykes-Howell. Start the Beat is the podcast. 2026 is the year. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Peace out. We did it. That was a podcast. Woo! yeah.
Cool. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thanks for being back.
Yeah. I hope I didn't talk about like